Oh, hello all. So, there's lots of environmental news out about the trouble with the water cycle that's going on around the world, how things are changing so quickly. So I wanted to go over a few of them and do some details about each problem and why it's so important that we get on the case of climate change, regardless of who the U.S. puts in the presidency. It's so important that we pay attention to what's going on. In Europe, the Swiss glaciers are receding faster after 2 punishing years of record melting of the glaciers. Scientists reported that high temperatures in July and August, combined with the heat-absorbing impact of reddish-yellow dust blown northward from the Sahara Desert into the Swiss glaciers. So this dust lands on the glaciers and the sun heats up the dust, which then even melts the glaciers even faster. And that's why the glaciers in the European Alps are melting at such a quick pace. Also, the Italian mountains as well. It's anywhere in the world we're seeing a record amount of glacier melting. It's not just in Switzerland. However, for some reason, the melting in Switzerland is even faster than all the rest, and they think it's because of the Sahara dust. The global water woes is the canary in the coal mine. As a result of rising temperatures, the hydrological cycle has accelerated. It has also become more erratic and unpredictable, and we are facing growing problems of either too much water or too little. Now, that means that our storms are getting worse and worse because there's too much water, or there's no storms at all. Let's, for example, look at the drought monitor here in the U.S. And as you can see, that the U.S. is having one of the worst droughts they've had in several years, though the U.S. is now becoming more and more obvious that we're going to have more droughts more often than we used to. The ocean heat fueling Hurricane Milton was made up to 800 times more likely by the climate crisis. It's likely supercharging the rapid intensification and making hurricanes much more dangerous than they used to be. And that's quite obvious from what we're seeing, just from a few of them that have hit the U.S., not including all the ones that have hit Asia and other parts of the world, and just how big and intense they are even in just the ocean when they don't hit landfall. The world is on track for a catastrophic 3.1 degrees Celsius rise in temperatures very soon. Now remember, they were saying we never want to go past 1.5 C, but apparently we're going to go way past 1.5 C very quickly. The world's nations must commit to dramatically slashing greenhouse gas emissions in the near future, or risk a catastrophic rise in global average temperatures. So we're about to go way past 1.5 C and find out what 3.1 C is going to look like. I just can't imagine. Climate scientists are saying it is still possible to meet the 1.5 C set out in the Paris Agreement, but only with a G20-led massive global mobilization to cut all greenhouse gas emissions starting today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but today is the only way we could stop it if we cut, and the word here is all greenhouse gas emissions, to bring it to 1.5 C. Unfortunately, we've been at 1.5 C now for about a year and a half, and they expected it to go down when El Nino faded away. But El Nino faded away and La Nina has come back in, and guess what? 1.5 C didn't go away. Oh, is anybody surprised? Does anybody really suspect that any candidate in any political race anywhere in the world is going to slash all greenhouse gas emissions? Obviously not. Trump here in the U.S. is promising to drill baby drill and start up coal production again. Do you think that is a good way to get below 1.5 C? You know, the problem is that politicians don't study this kind of stuff. They don't want to know, just like most of the people around the world don't want to know about climate change, so they just use the easy way out. Oh, there is no such thing as climate change. It was just hot yesterday. Oh, and the day before that. And yeah, all summer it was hot, and yeah, we had a very mild winter, and we had loads and loads of precipitation where we had no rainfall at all this year, like it is in the U.S., where it's just dry as a bone. Now the question is, will the winter bring some badly needed rains to the U.S. and other parts of the world? Only time will tell. What is your situation where you live? I know I often ask this. I don't get many answers, but I do get a few. I appreciate them, and it lets people know what's happening in your part of the woods. So with that, I have to say that it's so important that here in the U.S. and other parts of the world that are having elections, you must pay attention to what the politicians are saying about the climate. Are we going to go ahead and drill, baby drill, start up coal production, get rid of electric cars, and get rid of windmills and other alternative energies? Now I know alternative energies were all built with fossil fuels, and so are they really alternative? Yes, in the long run, alternative energies are better for the environment than are not, but at the beginning, when they're making solar panels or making windmills or transportation of these devices where they finally get installed, the people that come to install them, they're driving probably gas guzzling vehicles such as trucks, vans, and other vehicles, are causing more problem with greenhouse gases. And it just has to be that we eventually will get alternative energy, but will be in time enough to save ourselves from ourselves? That is the question. I appreciate all your guys' comments, the ups and the new subscribers. And until next time.